Welcome back everyone. Today's episode is going to be a little different than normal. We typically live stream big update announcements and releases on Fridays, however due to some scheduling issues I decided to go ahead and make a video early. So as of recording, this is the day before release. We're still buttoning up the last things, finding new bugs, polishing things out, and so bear with me as we show off what we have so far and realize the final public release might be a little more polished than what we're seeing. We might get interrupted as we are also going to do Cop Till You Drop, where we play as a cop until we get wrecked out or crash ourselves out. Sometimes the AI tend to run into us. And also thank you so much for the kind words, for everybody's patience with us as we had to announce that the beta, or really the public release, wouldn't be ready until Friday and not on Wednesday like we had hoped for. Now I mentioned in the live stream that, be patient with us. We might not be able to hit our Wednesday deadline, and unfortunately we did not make it, but seeing everybody's kind, positive words really helped Tristan and I push through and get us to the end. Let's hop in a cop car and get to work. We are in our Bruckle Bastion undercover cop car. We have the lights on there. And we're going to go ahead and look for some suspects and also talk about what is new in the 037 public release of Career Overhaul, or really what we brought in from the vanilla update. A couple things you're going to notice that are different is we now have the minimap in the bottom left that is carried over from the vanilla update. It was so cool to see. Oh, we got D-Series running. Oh, he's right here. Bear with me one second. Alrighty, as I was saying, that minimap in the bottom left is super cool. One of the cool features about it is that it flashes blue and red when you are a suspect and fleeing from the police. So really cool. That was all vanilla. We were able to keep it in the game. It was really effortless, to be honest. A few other things that came in from vanilla were some AI changes as well as some police changes. So there wasn't huge amounts of AI changes, but some of them were that the police AI will now chase you if you run a red light or do not yield at the proper intersections. Super happy to see that come back. I've been waiting for that. Oh, we got a Pesma running right there. Be right back. All right, another successful arrest. The one thing that we did not carry over was the vanilla change to insurance. So they went ahead and simplified it and made it to where it's kind of effectively not really there. I think it just kind of works in the background. I'm not fully sure, but we went ahead and used our brand new insurance system that is vehicle based. So now you have to insure each vehicle. And it did make some errors on when I was explaining the details and how our insurance works. So let me go back to the garage and show you how that works. So back at the home garage, if we go to our insurance policies, in our insurance policies screen, you'll see that each vehicle has its individual insurance policy that you can go in and edit. And when you go into edit, you'll see several different features. One thing that I've misspoke about is the total percentage. This is not how much totaled out percentage of value you receive. You will always receive 75% of the vehicle's value when you total it out. This is saying at what point will the vehicle be totaled out. So let's say this is a $10,000 car. If you total it out at, let's say 100%, that means the total damage to the vehicle has to exceed that $10,000 before it gets officially totaled out. Now, if you switch to 50%, trying to save some money, as soon as you cross that threshold of the car damages costing more than $5,000, it will end up needing to get totaled out through the insurance system. However, you can always still do a private repair, so it's up to you if you want to do that route. And the other thing I misspoke on is this, I guess, dollars per minute. So this is saying that we are going to have a price of $6,156 every 10 minutes, every time we're driving that vehicle. So what I mean by that is when you're driving a vehicle with Prestige insurance, after 10 minutes of driving it, you will receive that insurance payment. It's not 10 minutes whether you're playing the game or not playing a game. It's only 10 minutes per driving a vehicle with that specific insurance package, I guess. Hopefully that makes sense. And that's pretty much the main things you're going to notice in the 037 update that we carried through or didn't carry through from the vanilla 037 update. Wasn't a whole lot of front end changes, but a lot of back end changes that required a lot of rework. The last thing that we've been working on as well is a complete restructuring of our, I guess, file system and the way the code works, and just doing a lot of splitting out from vanilla stuff. And long story short, we hope to have this public release version ready for the BeamNG repository. As you know, we got a few mods already out there on the BeamNG repository, and we really want to get Career Overhaul in a state that will be accepted on the BeamNG repository. Hopefully too, this will also help us with quicker turnaround times when updating. But with that, let's go on and talk about a few other updates this week.
Hey guys, Editor Shift Tab here. You are also getting Italy for free. Raceless just didn't mention it, so enjoy. Okay, bye.
Now, before we go ahead and talk about some of those updates that are this week, but not really part of the base career overhaul, I want to go ahead and do Deborah's initial drag pass here down the drag strip. If you guys don't know, this is our supercharged drag car that is on a kind of stock suspension and not so great tire. Now, when I first showed this off, I don't think Shift Tab did it justice with the volume, so I'm going to ask Shift Tab to go ahead and turn up the volume so we can really hear this thing idle. We'll have Shift Tab go ahead and put it down to normal volume. So as you can see, this car sounds amazing. This is all supercharged surge, I guess. There's no kind of camshaft or special cam chop added to it. It is an absolutely rowdy machine. And when we go ahead and launch here, we're not going to floor it. We're not going to full send it. We're going to ease into it a bit. I don't want to damage this car right off the rip. There's going to be a lot of tuning and testing required. Here we're on the trans brake. Easily get off the line. That front end likes to lift up. Three-wheeling down the drag strip. Easy on the brakes. Try to get this thing stopped. An 860 off the rip with a super soft launch. Fortunately, we don't have our drag strip ticket UI on right now. I'd be curious on what that 60-foot was. If we get some nice tires on this, this could be a pretty quick car. The reason why I wanted to go ahead and get this out of the way is because we need to go ahead and head over to Hiroshi Raceway and talk about one of the next updates coming out. So Hiroshi Raceway is finally getting hopefully one last beta. We really want to see this go free here soon, so depending on how this next beta goes, we should see a public release extremely soon, maybe 1 week, maybe 2 weeks. But one of the big features that was added was a brand new dealership made by MK Freak. So if you're in the Discord, you've seen him tease it around quite a bit. I'm really excited to check this out. I think it's over this way. While we head over there, let's talk about a few other things that happened this week. One of them being the Yoru and RaceTab mods were both released to public on a BeamNG repository. They were both approved at the same time, which is super exciting to see. Now both those mods can be found on the BeamNG repository, and as such, they were also added to the new collection. We will be rolling out a new collection here extremely soon. I don't know if it's going to be on release on Friday with everything else, or if it's going to get delayed a little bit. The biggest mod that we are missing that was broken in 037 is Gamers Pickup Truck Parts. One of my favorite mods. A lot of our old configs use that mod, so really look forward to seeing that come back. And I don't know if that's going to be able to make it in this next beta for the collection, and I also don't want to hold back the collection any longer, so be on the lookout for that. One bug we are still dealing with as we approach our final kind of get the mod out the door is the lack of AI traffic after map switching. I believe if you come back later, the traffic does show up, but that's a bug we are still working on. When you go to Hiroshi Raceway though, you're going to notice a new road on the far end of the map that comes with its own FREs. We're not going to do the FRE right now because it's mainly a drift toge kind of style where speed and drifting both matter. But if you take this extremely long, nice windy road, you'll find that it goes all the way up through this mountain and ends at the new RaceTab headquarters / dealership for all things kind of RLS branded, I guess. So in there, we're planning on having 3 dealerships. So the first one being the RaceTab dealership, which is all things RaceTab. You guys have already seen that dealership in West Coast, but there's now a spot here that offers slightly cheaper prices than its West Coast counterpart. Additionally, there is a brand new dealership that we're going to talk more about in a future video. It's called As Seen on TV. Be on the lookout for that, especially if you are a YouTube member. And lastly, there will be another dealership that we're still in the works of planning. I think it's going to be called the Hall of Fame, which is going to be all things from our RLS RP events, kind of Discord inspired. And I think that will be available on our Discord for free. So as we get to the top here, ignore some things like this RaceTab sign being particularly orange. We're working on a no texture issue still. But here it is, MK Freak's new dealership. You can go ahead and drive to the top here, take a look. There's a nice windy road that you can drift up and have some fun, kind of a little playground for your drift vehicles. We are heavy in the drift scene. This top floor here has yet to be fully furnished, but there is a nice little lookout spot over here. kind of see the rest of the map and the drag strip. Go ahead and park here. Go on foot, and there is a little office building over here, which is a super nice, cool little touch. It has some cool monitors, and you might find some sneak peeks here that get updated throughout its update cycles. So really cool to see. I love the logo here on the floor, super fun. Go ahead and get down to the bottom floor a couple different ways. You can go through this little side tunnel here, kind of a trippy little feel, and an area where you can purchase your vehicles. So here we have the As Seen on TV dealership. I think we guys get a little closer maybe. We're still working on the thumbnail, so I won't show it off too much. This is a really cool little dealership added that's in a really beautiful spot, and we hope to do more with this place. Maybe put up some special cars here on display on like some kind of podium stand. So definitely a work in progress, but I don't want to delay this any further. It's been a long time since we've seen a Hiroshi update, and I really want to see this get public release for free as soon as possible. So we are moving ahead on schedule with that, despite some issues still being prevalent. We'll showcase the Race Tab dealership a bit more in a future episode. But for now, let's go talk about one last thing that's been added to Hiroshi Raceway that I know a lot of you have been asking for a very long time. But before we do that, let's do one quick hit at the Hiroshi drag strip here in Deborah just to see what she'll do here. The temperatures have changed quite a bit in this map, and this might have an effect on the drag time. We'll try to leave it a little harder, and we'll even go in first person for this. Oh, okay, deep staged. A lot of twisting. She's dancing the whole way down. All right, 898, a little bit slower there. Being in first person, definitely a struggle. I think we're gonna have to do a suspension change on this car in order to really do some proper passes. The new feature added to RLS Career Overhaul Hiroshi is finally some AI racing. If you go ahead and go to career paths, you will notice a new event area. I guess you would call it a new tile here called RLS events. Now we are working on a lot of these names and descriptions and thumbnails and all that, so bear with us. I'm sure this will be a little bit adjusted on its final release, if not in future betas. But you'll notice that you have different level rewards for different money, I guess bonuses as you level up in your racing. We currently have 2 branches. We have hopes and plans to add more branches. However, these things take a lot more time than expected to build out and flush out. If you click on this Hiroshi racing tile here, you'll notice several different tiers of levels to get through. The deeper you go, the harder the AI, hopefully, and especially the more rewarding. So you'll notice your first races really don't pay out all that much. However, when you get to the very end, they will start paying out a ton more. Now, typically when you repeat AI races in any kind of mission, you only get 10% of its earnings the second time around. That has now been changed. We have changed it to 50%. So now these are a bit more repeatable. And hopefully you guys have a great time with this. Again, there's a lot of issues and bugs and challenges when working with AI and missions. And so there's probably some issues here. I know for one, the AI do not love the oval track. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's really just hit or miss. As well as there might be an issue with the entry fee. So if you try this early, you might be able to try early for quite a reduced price. We're still trying to fix all these little bugs, but again, I don't want this to get delayed anymore. Expect a beta here and maybe one more beta next week as we try to polish up this stuff. I will explain though, in order to unlock all these, you will need to do the Sunburst Cup qualifier, which can be a little challenging, but the goal here is to really make sure that you can qualify for these races and you will be fast enough. You can use the TrackIR rental though to go ahead and practice for that cup qualifier, so you don't have to pay the hefty $5,000 entry fee to take the qualifier test. And here is the other tab that we have. This is for kind of some oddball experiences, something a little different. This is where you'll find the RLS 500 and general track rentals that you can try out. Again, this is very much Hiroshi track kind of focus, so all the experiences here are driving Hiroshi vehicles, trying to be on brand and lore friendly with the map. Eventually we will roll out other branches into other maps and such, but this is just the beginning and kind of to test the waters with how this kind of style of gameplay will work. So let's go ahead and do the Spectators Drag event where the entry fee is $50 and we do have to use our own vehicle. So I believe this is already using the new system where Depending on the class of vehicle, it will give you a random opponent similar to your car in class. So it looks like we're going against a drag van here. Get this thing started. This is not a good start. It is an all-wheel drive van, and we have no grip whatsoever. Might be harder than expected. Oh, he's in the wall. This is our chance. Don't wreck your own car. Gonna be a photo finish or not. All right, and across the line. For that we earned $2,000. Again, if we do this again, it will be getting $1,000 per event. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much again for all the patience and the support, especially you YouTube members that continue to support and the Patreon members. In the coming days, hopefully, or maybe even today, depending on how everything shapes out, I have a very special mod specifically for the YouTube members, and I can't wait to show it off. Thanks so much for watching, and let us know what kind of bugs and issues you find. But yeah, we'll see you next time.
Back and focus on what's in front of me. Everybody days a number, but I'm still here luckily. I know that God got me, so I'm in good company. So take it from me, I got some places I should take you to see. You know it's easy when you ride with a G. Light speed, moving fast through the city, trying to find me some peace. I found